From an insane baseball bloodline to the wildest living situation in baseball, this is the insane lifestyle of Bobby Witt Jr. Hit the intro.
High drive, deep left, grand slam! Bobby Witt Jr. wins it!
To have your first Major League walk-off a slam.
But before we get into his private life, we gotta start where this story really begins. Bobby Witt Jr. was born on June 14, 2000 in Colleyville, Texas. And he didn't grow up chasing the game from a distance. He grew up inside it. His father, Bobby Witt Sr., spent over a decade in Major League Baseball, which meant from a young age, Bobby Jr. wasn't just watching games on TV. He was walking through clubhouses. But that expectation came with pressure. By the time he reached Colleyville Heritage High School, it was already clear this wasn't just another good player with potential. He was taking over. As a junior, he hit .446 with 10 home runs. But what really put him on the map came that summer. On one of the biggest stages for high school players, he stepped into the spotlight and won the High School Home Run Derby at Nationals Park.
Bobby Witt Jr. has won the High School Home Run Derby.
Then, just weeks later, he kept going. At Wrigley Field in the Under Armour All-America game, he launched another home run and walked away as team MVP. And by his senior year, there was no debate. He hit .515, crushed 15 home runs, drove in 54 runs, and stole 17 bases, dominating every part of the game. That season earned him Gatorade National Player of the Year.
Male High School Athlete of the Year award, Bobby Witt Jr.
And as the best high school player in the country, he committed to play baseball at Oklahoma. And now for the clips that turned him into a viral sensation. Bobby Witt Jr. entered the 2019 MLB draft as one of the top prospects in the country. And when the Kansas City Royals had the second overall pick, they didn't hesitate.
The Kansas City Royals select Bobby.
They selected him immediately. And just like that, he signed for $7.79 million and began his professional career. He made his debut that summer. But just as things were starting to build, everything paused. The entire 2020 minor league season was canceled. But when baseball returned in 2021, he took off. Starting in AA, he quickly moved up to AAA, and by the end of the season, he was named Minor League Player of the Year. He made his MLB debut the following year.
Line to left field, into the corner. RBI number 1, Bobby Witt Jr. gives the Royals the lead.
Less than a month later, he connected for his first major league home run.
And that's hit well. Gone for his first big league home run.
By mid-season, he had already taken over at shortstop.
Like that.
Barehanded by Witt Jr. That's an incredible play.
But the next year, something happened that you never see. Bobby sent a foul ball straight into the stands. And out of everyone in the stadium, it went directly to his dad. Then, a few months later, the unimaginable happened. In extra innings with the bases loaded, Bobby called game.
High drive, grand slam! Bobby Witt Jr. wins it!
By the end of the year, he had hit 30 home runs and stolen 49 bases, leading the league and putting together a stat line that had never been seen before. Then came 2024, and before the season even began, the Royals made their move. They signed him to an 11-year, $288.7 million extension, the largest contract in franchise history. He followed it with his best season yet, leading all of baseball in hits while putting together another 30-30 year. He earned his first All-Star selection and stepped onto bigger stages, including the Home Run Derby. Then came the awards: Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, and a second-place finish in MVP voting. October followed. For the first time in his career, he reached the postseason after helping turn the Royals into a playoff team. In 2025, Witt kept building. He reached 100 career home runs and 100 stolen bases faster than almost anyone in league history. But what we really want to know is how the dude spends his cash. And what's really surprising is how he lives. Because Witt lives in Arizona, and he doesn't live alone. He shares a house with his teammate Vinny Pasquantino. The two have been roommates for multiple seasons. Not exactly the lifestyle you'd expect. They even gave the house a name.
Yeah, we call this place the Witt's Carlton.
You've got teammates hanging out in a setup that looks more like a group of friends living together than a superstar athlete's home. They also share the home with Witt's dog, a Bernedoodle named Barry.
This is Barry, my son.
They take turns cooking dinner and even keep a chore sheet on the wall, because apparently someone's still got to do the dishes. Out back, they keep things fun with a chipping green. And in their downtime, the only thing they really care about is collecting baseball cards.
Whoa, is that like surreal?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And the house isn't the only thing they share. Because when it comes to getting around, it gets even better. They share the lease on a minivan.
I got the minivan because I was on FaceTime with Bobby and I said, should I get a minivan this spring? And he said, yeah, you have to.
Some other purchases include this Rolex Daytona watch and this Lexus LX 600 that he bought with his wife. Speaking of his wife, let's take a peek into his personal life. Bobby first met Maggie Black in high school. He went as far as asking her best friend for her class schedule so he could transfer into the same physics class. That's where their relationship started. Maggie Black is a personal trainer, and while Witt's career was taking off, she was building her own path at the same time. The relationship carried through everything that came next, from high school to the draft, into the minor leagues, and eventually into the majors. The two stayed together as his career continued to grow. Then in 2023, he proposed. And in December 2024, they got married in Dallas at the Thompson Hotel, with around 300 guests in attendance, including his entire Royals team and several MLB players. Now, the wedding itself had a detail that stood out. During the reception, the venue was transformed into a full Whataburger setup, serving their favorite meals, a direct callback to where they used to go after games when they were still in high school. And if you thought that was it, his family might be even crazier. Because it's not just him in the big leagues. Bobby Witt Jr. has 3 older sisters, Nikki, Kiana, and Shaylee, and all 3 of them are married to MLB players. His brothers-in-law include James Russell, Zach Neal, and Cody Thomas. In his free time, you'll usually catch him on the golf course. And when he's not golfing, he loves to take in a hockey game.
I was getting chirped by some Bruins fans. Really? Yeah, they told me to go back to Kansas.
He's a big Dallas Stars fan and goes to games throughout the offseason. But there's nothing he cares more about than collecting baseball cards. And it's not something new.
I remember growing up, going to Target, going wherever, to just getting a box of cards.
Bobby described collecting cards as something he's done since he was a kid. As for his inner circle, his closest friend is Corbin Carroll. But one of the more surprising friendships in his life is with Patrick Mahomes. The two represent Kansas City at the highest level, and over time, they've built a close relationship, with Mahomes publicly supporting Witt and Witt pointing to him as a role model.
He's a tremendous talent, one of the best players in the MLB.
And when they're both back home in Texas, they usually find time to hang out.
We talk to each other a little bit here and there, just through text and stuff like that. Obviously, I see him sometimes in Dallas.
Now, at this point, you gotta be getting excited about his career earnings. Bobby's total career earnings already sit at $30 million in value. But that's just on the field. Off the field, Witt has a growing endorsement portfolio, working with brands like Whataburger and Under Armour that bring in an additional $2 million annually. And when you put it all together, his net worth sits at $30 million. Subscribe if you like Bobby Witt Jr. And welcome to Athlete Lifestyle.